Hello and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, welcome, and if you've been here before, I'm glad you're back. In today's video, I am going to show you a very quick and easy method of creating kind of like a water depth kind of texture, and this is how it's gonna look at the end. Also, I'm gonna show you how to create this like 3D kind of effect. Spoiler alert, is just the texture gel that I used, but it's such a easy way and it looks kind of realistic. I absolutely love it, and my clients loved a little bit of texture, and then I added just a tad bit of bling there, just because I wanted something sparkly. But yeah, it's such a simple and easy way to create that water depth and those like different colors in there, and they're like mixed and they look natural, and it only takes like 5 seconds per nail. You'll see what I mean. So yeah, I hope you are going to enjoy today's video, and I hope you're gonna learn something. And with all of that said, let's do some nails. Really quick before we start, I wanted to remind you that you still have time to get the early bird offer on my summer watercolor course. You get 10 different designs, well actually 11, but I've done the strawberry, I've done an extra one, and then you also get 5 different salon viable designs, which are those ones at the bottom, and you also get another bonus lesson, and it's gonna be something like color theory a little bit. I'm gonna talk a bit about mixing colors and stuff like that. So it's a really good offer right now. It's $38.50, and I highly recommend you to get it, because it's not only the designs that you learn a lot more about watercolor and about how to work with it and everything else. So yeah, anyway, with all of that said, let's get back to the video. I will also put all the info and everything in the description down below with the links and everything else. I will start off by using Haley from the Kirsty Meakin Gel Polish collection, and I'm going to apply 2 layers of this and cure each for 30 seconds in an LED lamp, which means they are fully cured. And then you can remove the sticky layer if you want to or not. It doesn't matter, it doesn't make a difference. I tried it both ways. Then I'm gonna use that gel brush from Glitter Bells, and then I'm gonna go in with Flynn, Diesel, Lucy. You can use whatever brush you want at this point, by the way. Deca and Alicia. So these are all kind of like blues, and then I'm gonna use a very beat up old stamper. If you want to learn more things that you can do with a stamper, I do have a stamping course. Just shameless plug there. If you're interested, contact me and I'll let you know. It takes you from beginners, like know nothing about stamping, into advanced stamper, so keep that in mind. Anyway, plugging 2 courses in the same video, can you imagine? Anyway, what I'm doing right now is just picking up the random colors and actually just randomly applying them on the stamper head. So the reason why you need an old beat up one is because you might ruin your one, because with gel polish you sometimes have to like clean up with alcohol or something, cleanser, very harsh, and that will ruin the actual stamper. And this one, it doesn't really matter if it gets ruined or not. I had it for many years. So yeah, anyway, after I applied that, I did not cure it, and you can see that the colors are all kind of random, and I'm just kind of applying them onto the nail. I'm just stamping. That's it. That's all I'm doing. And the stamper and the gel, it moves the gel polish in some way. I can't explain it, but it makes this beautiful texture, and it kind of looks exactly like the depths of the sea. But you can see you really need at least a dark and a light blue. So very dark blue and a light blue. If you don't want all the other colors, if you don't want to complicate yourself, don't do it. But you need at least 2 colors in order to get this effect. Otherwise, it's just it's not going to be there. So keep that in mind. The more colors you add, the more of the texture you're going to get. So I recommend using more colors. But, you know, if you don't have them, you don't have them, then, you know, just use whatever you have. So I'm doing basically the same thing as the others. I kind of recommend you curing this twice the recommended amount. So if the Kirsty Meakin gel polishes need a 30-second cure, then do a 60-second cure, just because this might be a little bit thicker than your normal gel polish application. So to make sure that, you know, it's fully cured, give a double cure or even more, it doesn't matter. For me, it seemed like it cured very nicely with a double cure, but, you know, it's better to be safe than sorry. So then I did the same thing on the second nail, and I'm doing exactly the same thing on the third nail. You can see that the dots are random. And I'm only using this brush because it gives me small dots. You can also use a dotting tool. You can also use whatever you want to pick the color and place it on the stamper. Just be careful and don't be very, very harsh on the stamper. So don't actually poke in it, because there's no need for that. There's no need for violence. So yeah, I'm just kind of using that brush, but you can also use something else. I wanted the colors to be very, very dispersed and random, so that's why I wanted smaller dots. So I'm doing the same thing on the third nail as well, and you can see what a beautiful texture it has. I absolutely love it. It looks like the depth of the sea. I don't know, I absolutely love it. Yeah. Anyway, then I'm going in with the Ultimate No Wipe Top Coat, and I'm gonna apply that all over. This is from Ink London, and I'm gonna go in with the Gypsum Gel from Saviland. And you can see this is the white one, and I'm using the both brushes. So I'm using this middle liner from Glitter Bells and also the thicker brush that I showed you earlier. And I'm just using this one now to apply more product than, you know, the thin one would pick up, because obviously the thicker the brush, the more product is going to pick up. So yeah, I'm just applying that in kind of like curves. I can't explain it, but you see what I'm doing. I'm just applying it there where like the sea meets the sand. And then I'm taking the small thin brush, the detailer brush, and I'm just kind of making those edges really, really nice and thin to kind of to kind of make them look like they belong, so they're not just kind of like straight in the middle. The foam is just in the middle and that's it. To make them look like they belong into a bigger wave. I can't explain, you know that already, so why do I even bother? But anyway, I am just kind of going randomly everywhere, and I'm, you know, the waves don't really have an exact pattern. Then I'm gonna take that bigger brush and I'm gonna kind of pinch it in between my fingers very gently to create this kind of like small square brush. Yeah, you see what I'm doing. And then I'm just kind of using that to blend this down. You can also use an ombre brush or something like that. I just couldn't be bothered to take that out of the case, so I just used this. Sometimes I am lazy as well. So I'm just using this to kind of blend that edge down so they don't look again like they're just blocks in the middle of the sea, you know, so they kind of look like they belong there. You can also add a lot more texture here. I just didn't want to cover a lot of the texture that I created on the bottom there, like in the background. So I went very, very minimal with this kind of design. I'm just going back in and adding whatever I think that, you know, it needs to, and I'm taking my time looking around, seeing if I like things, if I need to add any more, if I don't, you know, very random stuff. And then once I'm happy with it, I'm gonna give that a full cure. And I'm still not happy with it. Sorry, never mind. I'm adding something there at the bottom. To be honest, it looked really, really sad and empty. But you can see that that background is just so gorgeous. I love it so much. It's so beautiful. It's just, it looks exactly like you'd see the sea from above. I don't know. In my opinion, at least. I hope it's in your opinion as well. If not, we can have different opinions. Anyway, moving on to the second nail, I'm doing exactly the same thing, and I wanted to show you again. So here, because the nail is covered more in that blue, I am going to obviously kind of spread the waves around a bit differently. They can have a pattern. They can definitely have a pattern if you want to. I just didn't want mine to have a certain pattern, so I kept them quite, random. So yeah, anyway. Then I'm doing exactly the same thing with, kind of blending it in a little bit. And I'm adding more texture where I feel like it needs more texture, because that's why I'm going back in, but I did not cure this yet. If you want to add even more texture when you're using this type of gel, go and cure it, and then you can add a second layer. Like, you can't make it really too thick, because then it's not going to be able to cure, because they are quite pigmented as well, so keep that in mind. So moving on to the third nail, I am just kind of applying exactly the same thing. I'm doing exactly the same thing. I don't know why I showed you all three nails, because they're basically the same design, but over three nails. I don't know what was in my mind, but look how beautiful that blue is. It's just gorgeous. I can't stop myself looking at it. I want to try different colors as well, but I think you do need a very dark color and a very light color. Anyway, moving on, I had those gold embellishments from somewhere, and then I'm gonna add some royal blue pearls and then also some white pearls, and I'm gonna use the 3D2 brush to just apply the gel that's gonna attach those to the nail. And then I'm gonna also use the 3mm brush for the caviar beads, and then this is the gel I'm gonna use to attach the embellishments onto the nail. And also I'm gonna use the pick and place, which is the dotting tool from Ink London, which I absolutely love. I just got it a couple of weeks ago, and it's incredible. It's so sticky and beautiful and doesn't leave any residue. It's amazing. Anyway, as I said, I had these like gold embellishments, metal ones from somewhere. I can't remember where. I had them for many years, but they have, all kinds of seashells and feathers and stuff like that. So I decided to use some of those to kind of like show that they are washed up on the sea, and it would be lovely to kind of, walk into this. It would be just so cute. So, yeah, I'm just adding those on the sea, on the shore there, just to kind of make it look a bit more shiny, because I wanted some shine. And then I'm going in with some gold caviar beads. They're the 0.05 or something like that millimeters, so they're really, really tiny. And I'm just kind of adding those wherever I feel like there's, empty space. Don't overdo it with the caviar beads when you're working with gold embellishments as well, because the caviar beads can distort the shape of the gold embellishment, so keep that in mind. That's from a distance. If you look very, very close, you're gonna see that they're different, but if you look from far away, it's just gonna distort the shape. So always make sure that when you're working with something gold or silver, you use other colors around to just kind of break it up a little bit. So like I did, I used white and then blue as well, to not make that gold get lost in there. Because if I would have used gold pearls or gold crystals or something like that, that would have been lost. So keep that in mind. Make them the star, that's what I mean. Then, as you saw, I moved on to the other nail, and I'm kind of just adding some of those embellishments there as well at the cuticle. and I absolutely love how they are. They're so minimal, but they're so beautiful. And then I'm going in with the Velvet Matte Top Coat from Ink London, and I'm applying this only over the, what do you call it? Only over the sand. There you go. I forgot the word sand. I always forget a word in every single video. But after I use the brush from the bottle, then I'm going in with the detailer brush to make sure I get into every nook and cranny, and also make sure that you go exactly to the edge of the crystals to keep them in place, and then everything is done. These are all done now, and I'm in love with them, honestly. My clients, as I said, absolutely love this. They just love the depth of the water, and that textured gel just brings everything together. If you don't have that, you can always use a very thick white, no wipe preferably, gel paint. But if you do have this, please use it because it looks absolutely incredible. I love it. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. You know, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Share it with your friends, stuff like that. And I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.